Yo, Katie, tell them what they're about to listen to. Welcome, guys, to another episode of The O. Today we have another interesting conversation. This time is with an entrepreneur by the name Gloria Ochelli. She has a book that's come out called Wake Up Your Inner Boss, and I think it's a book everyone needs to get, especially if you're an aspiring entrepreneur. What is her story? Well, how do you go from 90 pounds to a 7-figure portfolio in just a few years? That's a story. I think this chat is going to inspire everyone. If you're, boy, girl, man, woman, you definitely be inspired. So without further ado, here is my conversation with the amazing Gloria Ochelli.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes,
it's a pleasure. Yeah.
Likewise. I'm looking forward to understanding what makes this woman that is speaking into this microphone tick, because it's not easy to grow a 7-figure business portfolio with just 90 pounds. So I hope you'll be generous enough to explain to us how that happened, and as well as I know you're a mom as well and a wife. So again, it's like in the past episodes, I've had a lot of women, especially single mothers, ask how, although you don't have enough women on the podcast. So I'm like, okay, hold on, calm down. We shall get some. So I'm happy that you're here, and I know you're going to really inspire a lot of people. Yes. So let's get into this. So first of all, I want to ask you a question. Now, this question, take your time. It might be a very tricky one to answer, but let's see how you can tackle this. Which of the three is easier? Being a mother, a wife, or being a businesswoman?
That's a really very tricky question. Actually, none of these roles are easy.
Okay.
But the good bit is that one can handle the three roles at a go.
Okay.
You see, these roles can both simultaneously intersect each other, and one can just learn to navigate them.
Okay.
I don't really know what to say when people ask me, how do you do it? I think the question to be asked is, how do you make it work?
Okay.
Actually, I give myself permission to have the sink full of dishes till the next day, to leave the laundry till the next week.
Okay.
Honestly. So the best way to go about these three is to be flexible.
Yeah.
Lower your expectation and laugh at yourself sometimes. To be honest, no such thing is called, I hear people say, work-life balance all the time.
Yeah.
But for me, I would advocate for work-life harmony.
Okay.
Yes, because there's always an ebb and flow to my relationships.
Yeah.
And my obligations to my family, my business as an entrepreneur, not to mention my friends, my community, and myself. So I think we have to just work together and run those three roles.
Yeah. So what's interesting about work-life harmony is this. For me, the way I see it is like, okay, you could say, and again, one thing you said, which is very, very intriguing, is you can leave the laundry till next week and all that. I think it takes an understanding partner, because some guys will be like, oh, you're making all this money, but you're not sorting out the house. So I think there's something to be said about the man you're with as well. So I think that's one thing. But in terms of the harmony, say for example, you have a partner that's not that understanding. Like, there's some women that would say they want to grow a business, but they don't have a partner that's understanding, or their situation is not just like that. How do you encourage such people to have that harmony?
Well, I think it takes wisdom to do that. Okay. And patience as well. At some point, your partner will not maybe understand what's going on or don't get it. But as time goes on, you can be able to keep explaining yourself, keep expressing yourself. Yeah. Keep trying to talk more. Yeah. And hoping that your partner listens and understands with you. So it could take some time and it could take some patience, but you'll get there. Yeah. Just keep the focus and have that positive mindset.
Yeah, I think it takes a certain kind of person to even walk that journey as well. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. And speaking about journey, you have a very interesting journey, which we're going to really dive into for the next few minutes. But before we go further, let's talk about TopZilla. I love the name TopZilla. How did you come about that name? Because it sounds really, it sounds funky. So talk to us about TopZilla. When did you start?
It just clicked one day. Honestly,
okay.
I had like 15 different names.
Okay.
But all I wanted to reflect was I'm trying to get to the top.
Okay.
And then I got a text message from my friend saying after the conversation, and she said, "Thanks a zillion." So I was kind of like, I could add top and Zilly.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it just clicked, and I just keep saying TopZilla, TopZilla. What do you think, TopZilla? And everybody says, "Oh, it sounds really nice."
Yeah.
So that was how I just came up with the name.
I like it, TopZilla, and I like the zillions part. I've never heard that part before, Zilly. Yeah, so TopZilla. Yeah. I like it. I like it. So tell the audience about TopZilla. What do you guys do? And and most importantly, why did you start the business?
Okay, I think I will take the first part of the question.
Okay.
Yeah. TopZilla officially started in 2017. So that's we are 5 years in business now.
5 years, yeah. 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. So TopZilla is a global online store that offers products at reasonable prices.
Okay.
TopZilla was inspired by the various thrift stores we have in the country. Mm-hmm. So we have established ourselves as a reputable, quality, and reliable company that is able to stand toe-to-toe with some of the best online budget retailers.
Okay.
So we stand ahead of our competition for not just giving affordable prices, but also provide the high street trend.
Okay.
So our principle is simple: product quality, customer satisfaction is the most important factor, which enables us to focus on providing a simple yet exciting shopping experience.
Yeah.
But over the years, we've been really fortunate to build excellent relationships with manufacturers worldwide who are able to offer us high street stock at reasonable prices. So that is about TopZilla. But how did I come about TopZilla? Actually, this was bettered from my quest to have a better life. Okay. Make better choices and make the world a better place. I saw a gap in the market while shopping online for my daughter's stuff. I usually go buy clothing, shoes, maybe school supplies online.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, if I, as a parent, is doing this, other parents as well are going to be doing this. So as you are aware, the world is as fast evolving. Most people prefer to shop online for their goods and services rather than going into the shops, as it saves a lot of time. So one can just easily browse through different online shops and e-commerce stores to select whatever they want within the shortest possible time. You can see what Amazon is doing already. So within 24 hours, you've got your products right at your doorstep. So shopping online significantly saves one a lot of stress. When you are online, there is no fear of bumping into the crowd or having to join a long queue before purchasing.
So you definitely prefer the online experience than the
the
in-store
online experience. Yeah. And also there are other benefits as well, like having to be able to make choices. You've got loads and loads of variety. I think last week my husband was trying to purchase something on Amazon, and he went on and on and on. I said, just buy one. He said, but
too many options.
I'm lost for choices. Too many choices.
Yeah.
So that is what the online shopping experience is providing. And easy access to goods, send goods to distant places. I remember just recently my sister-in-law sent me a box of assorted cakes. Yeah. And she sent it miles and miles and miles away. And within 2 days, I got this box of assorted cakes.
Yeah.
That is the magic the online shopping provides.
Yeah.
So I saw the need and just got into the game.
You know what's interesting about what you're saying is many women would go online, and men would go online and buy stuff, and they would never in a million years think about setting up an online retail business. Never. So there's obviously a lot more to you, and I think that's something that I want the audience to even tap into, because people see opportunities every single day, but they don't. Something needs to switch on, and I think most times it starts from like very early in our lives. Like there's a popular saying about your background is your true reflection of your background in every shape or form. So let's dig back into your early years so we can get a clear idea who this woman is, because you just went online and you're like, I'm going to start a business, and then fast forward 5 years later, you're doing very well. So let's get your background. Let's talk about your early years. Where were you born, and what was it like growing up?
Well, I was raised in one of the cosmopolitan cities in southern part of Nigeria called Warri. Overall, I had a good childhood. I was blessed with a loving mom and dad. I had the opportunity to play with my friends outdoor quite a lot.
Yeah. Not like these days.
No. I ran out when it's raining. I play hide and seek. I draw circles in the sand. So much fun. I had so much fun. But growing up, I looked up to my mom as my mentor. Okay. She opened my eyes to the world of entrepreneurship. She acquired a range of small businesses over the years while growing up, from selling logs of wood and building materials for the property development industry, to selling organic foods to individual vendors, clothing items in a local shop. I think from what I can recall, she was always looking out for business opportunities. So I just copied my mom.
How old were you when she was doing all this? Like how old?
From as long as I can remember.
Really? Yes. So you're like 4 or 5. Your mom was already. Wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. She has never worked for anyone anyway all her life. So she always after one venture another, after one. So I saw her. So I just watched and saw her. So that was how I started my small ventures, like selling ice lollies, baking pies, making handmade Christmas cards.
Wow.
Which I really, really enjoyed.
And how old were you when you were doing this?
I think I was around seven.
7?
I can remember specifically the Christmas cards. Yeah, I was 7. Yeah.
Wow.
I think I made my ice lollies when I was 6, around there, 5, 6.
So how did you even discover the recipe to make the ice lolly? Because I can imagine then, growing up in Nigeria, that you'd never see the recipes. How did you?
There was no YouTube. There was
nothing.
Google. There was nothing of that nature. So I just had to ask questions. How do I make it? What do I need? How do I get it done? Because I enjoyed ice lollies at school, but I was just trying to figure this thing out. So I just kept asking questions until I got all the recipes together.
Who are you asking? Who are you asking?
I asked my mom. I asked my aunties. I asked my friends. So I just got bits of information from everyone, and then I put them together and gave it a go.
Nice.
And it came out really, really nice.
Really I bet.
Nice. Yeah.
So now I'm getting a clear picture. Okay, so please go on. So then you doing the ice lollies, the Christmas cards. This is when you're about between the ages of 7 and 10. Okay. Yes.
And I carried on with my ventures when I got into university.
Wow.
At university, I started a typing and scribing business.
Okay.
For final year students who were trying to get their thesis done. So I type the projects and I get paid for the services. And then I also opened a phone booth. Then we had no mobile phones like the way it's now really popular. Everybody has a mobile phone now. But back then, not everybody could afford a mobile phone. So I thought to myself, you know what? I could open a mobile phone booth at school. I got a space, which I paid for. And then I started the mobile phone business. So students just pop into the booth, make calls home, and request whatever or check up on their parents, and then I made some money as well. So,
so I'm assuming that the mobile phone booth, obviously there was a need. You
yes.
fulfill that need. Likewise, the typing business, and also I'm assuming when you were younger, the ice lolly. Yeah, that was a need because I'm sure the kids would love ice cream and everything then.
Of course, and we had this humid weather. Yes, everybody wanted an ice lolly.
Yes, it was very hot. So okay, now the pattern I'm seeing now is you were from very young. You had a mom who was very enterprising, and all of a sudden that was something that you modeled. I mean, obviously it's there in your blood, but you also had something like a blueprint. And at any point you saw a need, you jumped on it. Did you, because your book says waking up your inner boss, at what point do you think that because the inner boss is you're taking charge of your life, you're dictating things on your own term and executing on your own term and all that. And you're quite inquisitive. You're asking questions about the lollipop. I say lollipop, the ice lolly. At what time did you think your inner boss got awakened? Or is it, like you said, just from the very beginning?
I think it was kind of like there, while growing up, but when I relocated to the United Kingdom, I think my inner boss just went to sleep.
Why was that?
I think I had quite a lot of challenges when I relocated to the UK.
Okay.
I had system barriers. I didn't know what to do, how to go about it. I didn't get who to tell me how to go about doing what I wanted to do. I was kind of a bit distracted because I needed a job as soon as possible to make ends meet. So
of course.
At the end of the day, my inner boss just went to sleep completely. And while trying to get a professional job, I had quite a lot of rejections, and that really killed the little bit I had left. I just lost confidence in myself. I thought maybe I wasn't good enough and stuffs like that going through my head, and then I just went to sleep.
So that's the thing. So okay, I want to try and link up the timelines a bit more. So obviously, age 7 to university days, this is almost like 12 years or something. I reckon, maybe more than that. So from 7 till about your early 20s. And then you came here. Do you remember the age you got into England?
Yes, I came into the country 29 years of age.
29 years of age, okay. Yeah. So you had a roughly, I'd say 22 years of, do-it-yourself entrepreneurship. You were learning and all that. And all of a sudden you came here.
Everything changed.
Everything changed. And you came married?
I came married.
You came married, okay.
Yeah, I came married.
So young family, you come in and all of a sudden things are not where you think they should be.
I also had a baby to look after, so everything all inclusive as well.
Oh, did you birth the baby here or?
Yes.
Okay. And is it when you just arrived, you just gave birth?
I think when I arrived, about, let me say, 3 months later.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting a picture. So
everything all happening at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So you come, because obviously I also came in my 20s, so I can understand how it is. And did you come in to study, and all of a sudden you're with a husband, you get a baby, and you're someone that you liked doing things under your own terms, but you're in a different country, the rules are different. It can be very, very, very difficult.
Very daunting, yeah.
Yeah. So take me through that whole experience, because you're obviously an entrepreneur, someone that has you spent over 20 years in trying to do all sorts of businesses, looking after yourself. But now you're here in a country where it promotes the government, the idea of a government looking after its citizen. And did you ever feel tempted to say, you know what, this business thing I'm always used to, forget it. Let me just, jump onto the system and do things the way they do it here. Forget entrepreneurship. Was it ever a thing for you to consider?
I don't think, no, I never thought that way. Okay. I think the biggest challenge I had was I didn't understand the system. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how to start a business. I didn't know anything. So I think I was stuck there. But the other distractions actually contributed to it. Like having a baby.
Yeah.
Trying to get a professional job, because I trained as an analyst, a data analyst, while I was in Nigeria. Okay. So I thought I could just, it's going to be easy for me to just transfer my skills. And getting here, I was told, oh, sorry, you don't have UK work experience.
Yeah, the almighty UK work experience.
Yes, so that really killed my confidence.
Yeah.
I just had to settle for less, just make do with what I can find.
Yeah.
And just carry on with life.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So you're here now, and all of a sudden things are not the way you seem. I can imagine you have a child. Things will not be that easy in terms of, it's not the first, like some women, I hear stories of women saying, you know what, the child was priority and I had to stop my life, in quote, and then just carry on doing what is safest. You sacrifice a huge part of your ambitions, your career ambitions, or your commercial endeavors and all that. So I reckon you were somewhere in that space mentally. Right?
Yeah, I think I just wanted a better life for my family.
Okay.
I think I just wanted to do all I can to just make it better.
So at what point then? Because you came in as a data analyst, you came studying, and then what happened? What did you study? What were you studying here?
No, I didn't study here.
No, I mean when you came here.
I came here, I managed to get a job through a friend. There's a care assistant role.
Okay.
Looking after the elderly.
Okay.
So I did that for about 3 years while trying to manage my child.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that for 3.5 years, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, I think it's time to add more value to my life instead of just settling for this. Yeah. So I applied to the University of Stirling.
That's what I was referring to. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
I was given a place to study nursing.
Okay.
So which I also went ahead to study.
Okay.
Yeah. So in between my studies, then that guilt consciousness came back again to say, you're not there for your child. You're hardly at home. And all those guilt talk came back again to me. And then I said, what do? I need to change things again, because this is actually not working for me.
Well, what wasn't working for you? The fact that you saw you were studying, because I know...
I was studying and I was hardly there for my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always on a 12-hour shift.
Right. Okay, you're working as well, like a placement thing. Okay.
Yeah, I was doing my placement. I was in the hospital working 37.5 hours a week. I was studying, writing essays here and there. Yeah. I had a part-time job to keep over the weekend. So I hardly saw my child.
So and obviously husband is working as well, isn't it?
Yeah. At the same time, I was struggling financially. Things was not the way I planned. This is not how I planned my life to go.
So
I needed to do something else.
Yeah. So when did the transition happen? Because this is where TopZilla is coming. I can see TopZilla in the horizon. It's slowly rising up. So how did this? What happened?
I think I had a difficult shift on that day, and I went to the dining area to have my lunch. And while I was at the dining table, I just started thinking about my past ventures, how I pulled through the challenges, how I made it work for myself, how I made it happen. Everything just kept coming fresh to me.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I don't think this nursing is working for me. Because nursing is kind of like you are placed in this rigid system where you cannot explore your creativity. You are told what to do. You have to do it that way. This is how it is done. And not just that, I'm still going to struggle financially. I'm still going to keep 12-hour shifts. I'm still going to have sore back and sore waist and sore legs. And then I'm not there for my child.
Yeah.
So I just thought to myself, you just have to do something about this. So it was just going through my head. And I asked myself a question. What are you good at? I said, I'm good at selling. So I said, you know what? I just need to go and figure out how to sell online. So that was how that came to light.
So when this things happened, did you, was this before you went online to buy things for your daughter, or was all these things happening simultaneously?
All these were happening simultaneously. I have been doing this while I had my child. I buy things online. Everything I do them online most of the time. Even my shopping, I do online. Yeah. So I said, I could sell online.
So how did you know? Because I mean, going back to the nursing thing, because obviously some nurses do, agency contract, but I think for you, it was not even that. It was more just to make more money anyway, but it was more, you wanted ownership of your time.
Yes.
And you didn't want a ceiling on your, on your earning power, isn't it?
Exactly.
So that's the businesswoman in you talking, isn't it? Now you're buying things online. How did you know? I mean, this might be this, some people might be interested in this one. How did you know you were going to be able to make decent money buying online? Because there are a lot of people selling stuff on eBay, Amazon. So how did you know that compared to, having a professional job that you could make a bit of money if you contract? Why selling online?
I'm a risk taker as a person. So I thought to give it a go.
Okay.
Not necessarily wanting to, I've got this all in. I've seen somebody that makes money online. No. But I know I'm good at selling. I can sell just basically anything. So, so I just thought, you know what? This is what I enjoy doing. This is what I know I can be good at.
Yes.
So I just decided to give it a go and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to add to the listeners, this is a woman that has over 20 years experience from age, 4, 5, or 7 selling things. So she's very confident at this stage, like, you know what, I've got this. So, because I know some people might be listening like, oh, wow, okay, can I do that? But yeah, you've been selling since you were a baby. So you're used to the idea of selling. You probably even have a little formula at the back, your back pocket on how to sell things. So yeah, so it's exciting to hear. So please go on. So you decided that the online business was the way to go. Then how did you, because I'm assuming you finished your course, or you're about to finish your course?
About to finish.
Okay.
To finish, yeah.
Was that when you started the business?
No, I started business halfway while at nursing school.
Okay.
So I started halfway, and while at nursing school, I really don't want to go through how I started with £90, but
no, that would be exciting to hear. Did you just flip the 90 quid and it became boom, 100,000, boom?
No, it was really, really tough on us at that time. It was tough, really tough. But,
yeah.
So I noticed while the business was going on and on, I was just selling not substantial amounts, just small bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed when I was on holidays, the business just goes boom.
When you're on holidays, how do you mean? Yes. Like when you are not schooling?
Yeah, when I'm not schooling, when we are on holidays, maybe you go for Christmas holidays or or summer holidays. So we've got break, maybe a month break, and the business just goes boom.
Wow. Okay.
So that just signaled to me that if you put in everything into this, you can make it a success. So that gave me a little boost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So while you're schooling, you were doing the business on the side, and then every time you had a break, you were on the business 2-4-7 every day. Was it like a 7 days a week? Like
7 days a week.
7 days a week. Wow.
Yeah, because I was kind of like everything. I was the photographer. I was the lister. I was the one packing parcels.
Wow.
I was the one sourcing. So it was all in one. So I was working nonstop.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you're going to school, coming back, doing all of that. And obviously, there's no way you have time for your child. Let's face that. That
honestly,
seems like almost impossible.
No way. Almost impossible.
But so now going back to the thought about, okay, so I guess with this you saw like, okay, you know what, I wouldn't do this, it's not going to be forever. But like with the nursing bit, you felt like if you get in, that would be life. That's like a life, yeah. So this was like you're get the pain now and get the gain later.
Yeah.
So at this stage, you were juggling both, and then you saw that, look, anytime I took a break, I was making more. I wanted to step back a few more, maybe months, £90, because people are going to look at your book and say, £90. Give us a snapshot of that moment where 90 jumped to, I don't know, a bigger figure. What was that £90 investment? What was that initial investment?
£90 at that point. Where I decided to start a business, I had no money.
Okay.
I had no money because I was living off my credit cards at that point.
Wow.
And I promised myself not to take any more credits. So I thought to myself, what do I do next? How do I raise money? Where do I get money from?
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself to sell the things I've got in my house. So my daughter's clothes, she has outgrown. Her shoes. My husband had the Xbox console.
Wow.
Yeah. And I put them on eBay and Gumtree.
Yeah.
And that was how I raised the £90.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where did you go from the 90? So when you got that money, then
when I got the £90, I looked for a supplier online. I just went on Google, looked for a supplier online. After researching eBay, I just checked what was selling, what was I familiar with, what product do I sell. So I just looked through categories on eBay, and I came up with looking for men's tie, because those are things I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Tote bags.
Yeah.
Disposable tote bags and wallets.
Yeah.
So I just picked some items, and I thought to look for online suppliers.
Wow.
So that was how I discovered a supplier who supplied me tote bags.
Wow.
So I spent £90 buying tote bags, and I think they went for 50p each when I purchased them. So I ordered 180 tote bags.
Wow.
and I put them on the market for $6.99 each.
Okay.
And that was how I started selling.
Nice. Well, if people want to learn more, they're definitely going to get the book.
Definitely. I'm not going to give everything away just yet.
No, of course. So that's interesting. So you went in. Now, did the business take off? Like, was that consistent? Did you see consistent growth? Was it a period where...
No. Just after, I think I sold a couple of tote bags and sales just completely stopped.
All right.
So I sold nothing for 2 months.
Wow.
So at that time I was considering, are you sure this thing works?
It'll knock on your confidence, your 20-year experience.
Honestly. And then I dropped my prices down and I sold nothing.
Wow. But why? Why did you think that happened?
I think at that point, that was the wrong season to sell those bags.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was winter.
All right.
And nobody wanted to buy disposable tote bags. I think they were really good during the summer time.
Yeah.
But not in the winter. But at that time, I didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about what should I put in the market at what time, or I just dived in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a challenging time for me because I had very little, and now the little I had, I'm struggling to make sales.
Yeah. And then obviously it definitely picked up at some point. So, what kept you going? What kept you going throughout this whole period of, I won't call it a downward spiral, but what just kept you going during this low time?
During this low time, I just told myself, you just have to make this work. You are not giving this up because I already know how I'm going to end as a nurse. So I didn't like what I was saying.
Sure.
So I just had to tell myself, you just have to make this work. And I just kept going. It was hard. I must tell you, it was hard.
No, I can imagine. So, I mean, I'm sure there are different tricks and techniques you use along the way to make things turn around. And I'm an advocate for people to paying for this kind of knowledge. And definitely, I won't press to get to that point. But one thing I would ask is, how long did it take before your business had this turnaround into, consistent success?
I think it took about, 17 months.
17 months. Wow. So you were persistent for 17 months. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And were you still schooling at this time, or this whole 17 months, or were you out of school at some point?
I think I was close to rounding up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was close to rounding up. And I was hit with the challenge as well. At that point where I finished my nursing and things were still not looking pretty good at all.
Sure.
Yeah. So I just told myself, it's either you're here or you're there. But at that point, everybody I told was like, are you joking? You must. Sure. You don't sound intelligent. So how would you say you want to leave your nursing and do this that we don't even see any success in it?
Yeah.
Because at that point it wasn't evident at all.
Yeah.
So, but I just had that faith, that little faith in me that I can make it work if I put in everything into it.
And this faith you had, is it because of your background? Like, have you gone through similar challenges? Obviously, knowing this skill, you've got a child, So have you gone through challenges where you set up businesses when you're younger and then things were not happening quickly, and you're like, you just stayed the course? Was this something you're used to?
I think yes. Over the years, I think yes. I just, I would call it positive mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, I would use that word, positive mindset. I had that positive, I developed that positive mindset because while growing up, I was faced with challenges here and there. I lost my dad while I was really young. And then I was faced with these obstacles, how to make this work, how to support my mom, how to raise my siblings, everything. And so I needed positive mindset to make this work for me.
Were you the oldest sibling?
Yes, I was the eldest.
Oh, okay. And your dad died very... Like, how old were you when your dad died? Your dad died?
I think I was 20.
20, okay. So 20. You had to raise your younger siblings.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a clear picture now. So obviously you're used to challenges. I'm used to challenges, yeah. Yeah, and you've obviously been very independent. So it was a shock in a way, but you kind of like said, you know what, I could do this. You're tested, you're battle tested, if I can use the word.
Yeah. That's the right word.
But how was your husband in this situation? How did he react to this whole thing?
To be honest, my husband always supported me right from the start. From the start, yeah. He keeps telling me, I'm sure you can do this, because we met at university. So he saw how I handled my businesses in school. So it wasn't new to him as well. Oh, you mean
back in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was right there. So he saw me pulling through.
Okay.
So he knew what I was made up of, but I myself forgot what I was made up of. Yeah. So he kept like constantly reminding me, encouraging me. So yeah.
It's interesting. So, I mean, I know specifically what drove you into the income, as you said it yourself. Like you're not really excited about the prospect of the profession you're being trained for. Yeah. But what do you think really drives you? So, because obviously you were not in a nursing school back in Nigeria, what really drives you as a business person?
I think what drives me is creativity and exploring. I love exploring. So I don't like kind of like putting myself in a box, and that was what nursing was trying to do to me. Just put me in a box and just close me up. So I'm the kind of person who wants to explore and create things and make things that does not exist as though they were. Yeah. So that's me as a person.
Yeah, that's interesting, because there's an article on Forbes that I read a while back, and they said, there's a guy that wrote it, so I can't remember his name. There were a few things he wrote about entrepreneurs, and he says he studied so many entrepreneurs, and I think the guy's name is Martin. Anyway, I'll put it on the show notes. Anyway, he says some entrepreneurs, they love to make a difference in the world. Some of them, they like to find personal meaning from building a business. That's what you kind of like said. Some of them find the satisfaction of doing something great, and then some just help others achieve their goals. Yeah. Now, I realize in my studies, people that help others achieve their goals as entrepreneurs tend to do it in different forms, in books, and I'm assuming that's why you've written a book at the moment, which is it's titled "Wake Up Your Inner Boss." Obviously, I'm assuming it's going to have every single thing you said here and more.
Yes, more.
But one thing I would like you to talk about, if you may, is why did you think this was the right time for you to write this book? Because you obviously, you're on a journey, and there's a lot more that can happen. But why did you think this was the time for it?
Well, I had a long conversation with my friend Eloho. I think that was in May 2020.
Yeah.
And she made me realize how much of a story I had and have not shared. Mm-hmm. So, and I thought to myself, I think Elo is right.
Yeah.
And this was cemented in my heart at that instant. So you've got something, you need to share it. I knew it was my mission to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs, but I didn't know it would come in form of a book. So I decided to just take the challenge. And that was how I came out
with the book.
About the book.
Yeah. So in writing a book, there's so many things you unearth, like, different moments in your life and everything. What is that part of the book that when you wrote it, you're like, man, I can't believe I went through this, or I can't believe this is me. Like, do you know what I mean? Because sometimes we forget things we've been through until we start to put pen to paper. So what is that? Can you highlight maybe one or two moments, or one if you can, in the book that you felt this was something that was so special?
I think it was towards the end of the book. I think that should be in, if I can remember, chapter 10, 11, 12. I think around there. And I was just writing the lines of how I have managed to turn 90 pounds to 7-figure numbers over a short period of time.
So we're looking at 5 years, isn't it? Because you said, yeah.
So I was kind of like, I didn't believe I was there already. You know, when it's kind of like it's not real, but it's real. You know. So I was grateful at that point. I was grateful, and just thinking about it and reading through those lines.
Yeah.
And it really got me emotional. Trying to read those lines.
And the tears poured out like a fountain.
Yes.
Washing away the ink on the page.
Yeah. It was an emotional read.
I mean, I can't wait for people to read the book, because so the one thing that strikes me listening to everything you've said is pretty much how your background is your background. A lot of people probably have similar backgrounds as you've described, but there's more to it. There's something in you that has kept you going, and also, you know, you had a partner that was encouraging and all of that. Now, what are the 3 things you think, because I don't want to assume, I'd love you to say, because now you've written a book, you've probably had time to think about it. What are those 3 things you think have been very instrumental to your success as a businesswoman? Or 4, if you may, or 2, whatever, but just a few things.
I would say my focus.
Okay.
Being focused, being consistent.
Consistency, okay.
Yeah, and positive mindset. And I had a really good support system. My husband.
Yeah.
And my client friends who also run e-commerce business. So, but they are really, really few. Really few. Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. Okay, so that's the recipe for success. And team, it's like a team. You know, you've got a team that's rooting for you.
Yes.
You know, it's not stuff you can do on your own, and that's the thing.
No,
it's not, is it?
No.
Yeah. And at what time did you realize that you needed people to? Because some people are not. They feel, you know. Are you a control freak? Are you someone that micromanages, or?
I'm not. I don't micromanage. I think.
Okay.
My I think my 3rd venture when I was 7 about the Christmas cards. Yeah. At first, I was taught the Christmas cards in class.
Okay.
I designed my Christmas cards.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what I produced was rubbish.
Because you're terrible at art. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the guy next to me, who sat next to me in class, he was really, really good with designing Christmas cards. So I told him, you know what, we can go into partnership.
Oh wow! At 7.
Yes.
Nice.
I told him, I will give you the materials. I'll bring the cardboards. I'll bring all the pens that you need. You'll design these cards. I will sell. And then after I had negotiation, decided to make it 60-40.
Wow. So 7-year-old in business, your little business room meeting, boardroom meeting.
So at that point, I saw the magic in teamwork.
Nice.
And also while I was at uni, while running my typing and scribing business, it got to a point where I had too much tax. And now it was affecting my studies. So I had to employ the locals.
Oh, wow.
to support me to do the job and complete the task.
Oh, wow.
And then again, I saw the power of teamwork.
Nice.
So I think I understand the power of teamwork. So I really didn't struggle. And while the business was at its early stage, my husband was also there as my team member.
Yeah.
In the evenings, we pack parcels together.
Yeah.
On his way to work, he takes them in the car, drops them off at the post office.
Amazing.
Those bits and pieces for me. So just doing those tasks really helped me focus on the other tasks. But when we grew the business to a point where we knew, we can't handle this anymore.
Yeah.
We got in more staff.
Right.
And this year we're also looking at employing more
people.
We need more hands. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll put your handle on the notes so people can start sending their CVs and all that.
That would be nice of you.
That'll be good. That's good. Well, Gloria, it's been great, man. Like, there's so much stuff we could talk about. You're definitely going to come back for another session.
Oh wow, that's nice.
You're definitely going to come back because there's I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions for you, but I do have some other questions for you. Now, before we go into this section, I call it the quick fire section. I want to ask you one final question.
Okay.
What are you working on next? And just to double barrel the question, what's the future like for Gloria and TopZilla?
At the moment, I think Gloria, TopZilla, we're going to be really busy this year.
Okay.
At the moment, TopZilla, we are creating new branded product lines.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment, we've done about 5 new product lines with our own brand.
Nice. So TopZilla.
We're going to do more products. So we are looking at 30 new lines this new year.
Okay.
And just recently, TopZilla also acquired a new business. So we bought over a new business, which is a lingerie business.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So we are working on adding new inventories. We're working on the website. We're working on marketing, branding. So we are going to be really, really busy. And for Gloria as a person, I'm also involved in coaching.
Okay.
So at the moment, I've got some students lined up. So I think in February, March, that session will be over, and they will take new intake. So I am going to be really, really busy this new year.
That's great, man. This is a woman that came into the country and she was like, I've got a baby. And then she did care work and then she went to the school and she somehow sold everything and got 90 pounds and flipped it over 17 months. And the business is not doing too bad, I would say. So your 7-figure business portfolio, what is it spread? What does it entail?
It entails TopSilly.
Yeah.
And what TopSilly owns. It entails our property portfolio as well. Yeah. So we are into property investing.
Yeah.
So it's all adds up.
Okay. And your coaching, would your coaching cover property and e-commerce or?
No, at the moment really? I'm just focusing on e-commerce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I'm going to put your handle on the show notes so people can reach out to you because I know a lot of people would have questions to ask you. So let's go on to the less exciting section of the podcast, which is the quick fire section. Now, the rule for this section is you spend no more than 5 seconds thinking of an answer. All right? That's why it's called the quick fire section. You know, but before I say that, it's very wild what you said about your story because it's like, especially when you're 7, thinking about the Christmas cards, because obviously it's Christmas, kids love cards and stuff like that, and you're thinking about it, and you sat down, had your little boardroom meeting with this artist, and said, "Look, we need to partner up." So I'm sure young people would be inspired by such situations because that's a gift in itself, and you're a gifted person. Yeah. So that's something I'd love to tell you. So hopefully, as we go into the quickfire section, there'll be some other questions that will unearth even more about you. So it's not over yet. The first question, the first question we're going to find out more about you is, what is your favorite word?
I would say lovely.
Lovely.
It has a very nice pronunciation with my Scottish accent. So I would say lovely.
Lovely. I like that. Okay, so what if you swear or curse, what is your favorite curse word?
I would say bloody.
Bloody. All right. Okay. All right. That's fair enough. What was the last music you listened to?
That was Kiss from the Rose by Seal.
Oh wow, classic. All right, what was the last book you read? And don't say it's your book. All right, you can say it's your book.
The last book I read was the Bible this morning.
The Bible. What chapter?
Yeah. I think I'm going through a challenge at the moment to read the whole Bible for the year.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm reading Matthew.
Okay.
16. I'm reading Job and I'm reading Psalms. So they just give me bit by bit.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. What are you terrible at?
Ironing.
Okay. Fair enough. You can always delegate that. What are you great at?
Organizing.
Right. Who was the last person you had a coffee, drink, or meal with that inspired you, and why?
I would say my husband.
Okay, and why did he inspire you?
I think we kind of like, we always chat as friends. So during meal times, there's always an interesting topic to talk about.
That's amazing.
He really inspires me. He gets me thinking. Nice. And sometimes we challenge ourselves as well.
Yes. I can imagine what the conversation will be like.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who is that one person you admire or respect that you'd like to have a coffee or break bread with, and why? It can be living or dead.
Okay, I think I would go for two people. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I would choose Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Yeah, to go out for dinner or coffee with, because she really, really inspires me. Just recently, I've been watching her shows on YouTube.
The old ones or the new ones?
The old ones, the new ones, everything mixed together.
Okay.
And she has really, really inspired me. So I would like to ask her loads of questions, like who inspired her, what motivated her to do what she did. And like Oprah Winfrey, I try to put myself in other people's shoes.
Sure.
That's what's called empathy. So I really want to ask her loads and loads of questions. But for that, I would say Martin Luther King.
Oh, why?
I would like to go and have coffee with Martin Luther King, because at this time we are going through a pandemic. You can see police brutality. You can see people going against each other. It's really bad right now. So Dr. King, I know this is not your dream. It is not what you peacefully marched for and what you fought for.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes things don't go the way we plan.
Yeah.
So after coffee, maybe we would discuss all things he went through and how some of what is going on now is similar. He would give me some good advice about how we can try and get more people to come together.
Yeah.
He did during his entire life. So
yeah.
God knows questions.
I can imagine, man. You sound like you're already imagining, imagining if it were possible. Here's hold that cup with the TopZilla brand on it. Okay, let's chat. Okay. So, if you have one superpower, what would it be?
I think that would be mind reading.
Mind reading. Why is that? I'm curious to know why. So you could.
Because I'm a very inquisitive person, so I really want to know what this person is thinking.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
What is in this person's head?
Yeah.
I really want to know everything.
That's a trait of a business person as well. Like just to, thinking from first principles. Okay. The next question: if a movie were to be made about you, what would the title be?
No, it's a difficult one.
Yeah, take your time.
Would be The Story of My Life.
The Story of My Life.
Yes.
That was like a simple one. You just brought it out.
The Story of My Life. And then I will play the role of the person always trying to do the right thing.
Okay. No. That movie needs to be tweaked. They'll probably, like biographies always have people going through. I think they'll probably spend half the film will be when you're younger, and then the other half will be when you're older, and then maybe the final part will be when you've just launched the book.
Yeah.
That would be probably how it would be made. And who would you like to play you?
That's a tricky one. And who would you like to play you? I really don't know what to say about this one.
It can be definitely not you. You can't play you. It can be anyone. It could be a British person, American, an African. Could be anyone.
I like to play you. I would definitely go for an African.
Yeah. Okay. So we got one of the Nigerian actresses or Ghanaian actresses or.
I think maybe, I don't know if you know Sandra Atchims.
Sandra Atchims. Okay, I'm sure people can look her up. So you reckon she would nail the part of Gloria? Okay. All right. Sandra Atchims. Hopefully she hears this. And finally, and take your time with this one, what would you like the world to remember you for?
Wow, I've never thought about this. I think I would love to be remembered as someone who really tried to love others as myself.
Okay.
And tried to leave the world a better place. I believe in kindness, and I know kindness can change lives, heal wounds, and most certainly help others. So, but I want to be remembered not just as someone who is kind, compassionate, and help others. I want to actually be someone who is kind, compassionate, and help others. Whether I remembered for it or not. Yeah.
So you're not doing it for posterity. You're doing it because that's what you want to do. And if people remember it for it, it's it is what it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, amazing time chatting with you. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people will be inspired by this. So thank you for your time, and I'll definitely get you on for another episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. My conversation with Gloria Ochelli. It was quite interesting. What I keep taking away from most of these conversations I have with these amazing people is consistency. Whatever we do, as long as we're consistent, then we will see some result. It might take a long time, and for some people it might just be quick. Some people just have a bit more luck than others, isn't it? But I think the most important thing is just being consistent. And speaking of consistency, I'd love to thank every single one of you that's been consistently listening and giving me feedback on this podcast. Really appreciate you guys. And I'll keep doing my best to bring to you guys very interesting conversations and people that hopefully you'd find inspiring as much as I have. Until next time, this has been The O.